Hello out there. It's day 8 of the quarantine. So I thought I would try to do something to break the boredom a little bit and share with you. I've been getting some home delivery meal kits for a little bit on and off now. So I thought I would start doing different companies and kind of showing you what comes in each of them, what I like about some of them, which is just a personal opinion, and how the food's turning out. So I was going to show you. This first one is HelloFresh, which is a pretty well-known meal delivery service. It comes to my door on the same day every week. I believe it usually comes on Tuesdays. So this is the box and what it looks like when it comes on the front porch. I'm going to say I already opened it because we did one of the meals last night that I didn't show you. When you open it up, the recipe cards are usually right on top. This is the meal we had last night, the sizzling hoisin shrimp, and I think overall it was excellent. So once you get down inside the box, it has this nice refrigerated little pouch, and when you dig in, you're going to find 2 bags, one for each meal. So we get 2 meals a week, so this is what we get. This is the shrimp bag, so it's empty. We already had that one. So tonight, this is the Figgy Balsamic Pork, which is what I'll be making. Make sure when you get these boxes, there's a separator down here in the bottom, and underneath that is where they keep the proteins that are colder. So in this case, it's a little package of pork tenderloin, and there was also a little bag of shrimp in there last night, and it's sitting on top of a pretty large frozen bag that keeps it cold for at least 24 hours, I would say. It's also recyclable. You can clip it open after it thaws and drain it, and then recycle the bag. It's non-toxic, and the whole thing's recyclable, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to put this aside. My dog likes to explore the bag too, as you can see. So I have the recipe card up. This is what it looks like. It's really nice. It's colorful. It tells you exactly what is in your box, just in case anything's missing. And the back side tells you the ingredients that you need to have on your own. The ingredients and the pots and pans, so you can kind of get it all ready ahead of time, which is kind of nice. It tells you to, on this one, little hints, like it tells you to let the pork stand for 5 minutes after it's done roasting. That keeps the juices in. It tells you a do-over on the bottom of the card, which this one is try this again, but with chicken breast and cherry jam instead of the pork and the Figgy balsamic sauce. So I've had pretty good luck with HelloFresh. It's very self-explanatory and easy to follow. Yes, there's still cooking involved, so don't think that these are going to come all prepared and everything's done. There's still chopping, washing, and cooking. But all the ingredients, I'll show you right now, are portioned out, which is nice. You don't have to make decisions. The green beans. Their produce tends to be really fresh from what I found. Fresh rosemary. Let's see what else. A cute little packet of the Figgy jam. A tiny packet of, I think this is chicken stock. A baby bottle of balsamic vinegar. 1 shallot and a few potatoes. One thing I have noticed about HelloFresh that I found, sometimes when they send carrots, in the recipe they look like nice big diagonal slices of carrots, when you chop them, but they send you these tiny thin carrots that are not going to turn out that way. Once you roast them, they kind of turn into nothing. So that's one point I'll have to say against them. But they have great customer service. I've paused their service before, no problem. Once they sent the wrong protein, and they totally refunded my money with no questions asked, so that's kind of nice. So I'm going to start going ahead. I also like how it tells you the order in which to do things, so everything timing-wise works out perfect, because that's one thing I have difficulty with, is getting everything done and still hot, and finished at the same time. I washed and dried the produce, and I have started with the first step. I already took the ends off the shallot and peeled it because that's boring to watch, and I am going to mince that up. Over here they said to do 2 teaspoons of the rosemary, so I've been taking them off of the stock. And then another thing I like about their recipe cards is you can order a meal for 4 people or 2 people. So we order for 2, but if you order for 4, it actually tells you, like in this case, if it was serving 4 people and they gave you enough pork, and other ingredients for 4 people, you would want to use 4 teaspoons of the rosemary. So just be careful when you're looking at that. I didn't listen the first time or pay attention to directions, and I did double of some things and other things, so it didn't turn out quite the way it should have. So I am guessing that is going to be about 2 teaspoons, but I have some more. And then they're going to chop up the potatoes. We don't have to peel them because they're the thin skin ones, into little chunks that we're going to roast. So I am going to start chopping. Also, I don't know about you, but I enjoy having a glass of wine with my dinner. Tonight I am having Witch's Brew from Leelanau Cellars, which is one of my favorites. It's very affordable, and it's nice and light, and it has some spices in it. I think it's going to go well with the fig flavor and the pork. Okay, I think that's diced up nicely. Now I'm going to work on the shallot. I did the boring part of chopping up all the potatoes, so now they go on a baking sheet. I have preheated the oven to 450 degrees. It didn't say to line your baking sheet with foil. I just like to do mine that way. It's easier for cleanup. And then we're to drizzle some olive oil. And sprinkle half of the chopped up rosemary in with the potatoes, and salt and pepper to your like. I'm just salting because my daughter doesn't love a lot of pepper. I'm going to take my ring off. I wash my hands again. I just think it's easier just to mix the olive oil this way. Then you don't have to drown it in olive oil and it still gets all over everything. And as soon as my oven is done preheating, that's going to go in. Okay, so the potatoes are in the oven roasting for about 20 to 25 minutes, and I'm heating some olive oil in a skillet. This one's a regular skillet, not non-stick, because I like to, with this kind of a pork, I like to get a nice sear. Even though it doesn't have a lot of fat, we already put the olive oil in. Then you're supposed to salt and pepper after you pat them dry on both sides. So as soon as this is hot enough, we're supposed to sear for 4 to 8 minutes. Could have made that a little hotter, but it's in there now. So I think they're about ready to flip over. Ugh. One thing about oil and gas stoves, HelloFresh does not send anyone to help you clean up your kitchen. Which I could, rate them down for that. So we'll finish laying that sear on that side for about another 4 minutes. So I think it's ready to take the pork off, and we're going to put this onto a baking sheet alongside the green beans. I did want to mention that I find that HelloFresh's proteins that they send have been really nice cuts, fat already trimmed off. Really like prime cuts. I do have a friend who's picky about chicken that said she didn't care for their chicken that much, but I feel like I'm particular about chicken, and I thought they were great. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to spray olive oil now on the green beans, so you get a little bit less just on top. I have found that their green beans this week were not the greatest. Maybe green beans just aren't in season right now, but I had to pick through them quite a bit. They're usually mostly trimmed off at the end. You'll usually have to catch a couple that they didn't get. So now We're gonna put this in the oven with the potatoes that are already in there, and cook everything for about another 10 to 12 minutes total. And in the meantime, we'll start working on the sauce. While the meal is finishing in the oven, we're supposed to do the sauce. I will admit I'm not great at sauces and gravy, so this is where my challenge always comes in. So I like that it gives me the instructions. You're going to use the same pan that you cook the pork in, so I've got kind of the good flavor in there. I'm going to put in a drizzle of olive oil, just a little bit, heat it up to medium, and cook the shallots that we chopped up earlier until they're just softened, which is just a minute or two. Again, if you get the balsamic with figgy pork, or I'm sorry, the pork with figgy balsamic jam, you don't need to follow my recipe because they'll send everything to you. Okay, so that comes a little bit fragrant and toasty. We're also going to add the remainder of the rosemary that we had put the other part over the potatoes. Oh, it already smells really good. I like cooking occasionally and being creative, but it's just nice, you know, when you cook every night for your family, you get so tired of trying to make a decision, you get all the ingredients, get the right amount of ingredients. I find, especially when they're doing the introductory offers and you can get half off for a couple of weeks, you can't even buy the products at the grocery store in the same portions because you've got to buy more unless you have a larger family. But I think for a small family, this is great. So I've let this cook for a minute or so to get soft. Now you just take, well, great, I won't be able to tear this up, but they have easy tear packages. This is the chicken stock already portioned out. You don't even need a measuring spoon, which is nice. The fig jam. The little baby bottle of balsamic vinegar. Set up. A quarter cup of water, which I did have to get from my own sink, by the way. Like that. And we're just going to let that thicken up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take them out of the oven. Oh, wow. Okay, a little smoky. But the potatoes look good. And this is the pork and green beans. The sauce is just finishing up thickening, and then I'll plate everything and show y'all how it turned out. I've tried to plate it like they showed in the picture. The pork is done. I will say everything looks really nice, but the picture shows a lot more pork on one plate than we could get out of these little loins. That's fine. I'm placing the sauce across. To me, the sauce didn't thicken up quite like I was hoping for, but again, I'm not good at sauces, so maybe that's just me. I'm gonna put this on the plate. Okay. All right. Okay, here's the final comparison, the picture versus reality. It's pretty close. I mean, it filled the plate up. I don't think there's quite as much pork as they show. The sauce is a little thin and not quite the same color. But everything looks wonderful. I'll post how it tasted later. And thanks for stopping by. Everybody take care, and I'll see you when the next box arrives on my doorstep.